Captain Paul for the Locker Room here. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. We're trying to reach 2,000 subscribers before the end of February. Let's get into it. Bo Horvat was acquired by the New York Islanders in a trade that was not seen by a lot of people around the league. The Vancouver Canucks ended up getting Anthony Beauvillier, prospect forward Aatu Raty, and a conditional first-round pick. And the condition on that first-round pick is if it's in the top 12 this season, the Islanders will retain it, and the Vancouver Canucks will get the New York Islanders' first-round pick of next year, which will be unprotected. Let's get into what the Vancouver Canucks received here. Anthony Beauvillier, in 49 games played, 9 goals, 11 assists for 20 points. You know, he's a solid bottom 6 NHL winger. He's only 25 years old. His cap hit's a little bit rich for his production at $4.15 million, but the Vancouver Canucks are not looking to get productive players, they're looking just to fill an NHL roster. Aatu Raty was drafted in the second round, 52nd overall in the 2021 draft. He is someone the Vancouver Canucks are hoping in future years are able to develop into a top 6 center. He's 6'2", 185 pounds. There's aspects of his game you're definitely going to love. On loan in 2021 to 2022, when he's playing in La Liga, 41 games played, 13 goals, 27 assists for 40 points. When he played on the under 20 WJC, in 7 games played, he had 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points. There's some flashes there that I think you definitely have to be excited about as a Canuck fan. Do I think he could turn into exactly what Bo Horvat was production-wise? Maybe not necessarily, but he's young, only 20. We don't know exactly yet what he will turn into. Let me give you his Elite Prospects draft guide. He generates so much power on every release by sacrificing a quick drawback instead of taking his sweet time and loading downforce into his lever action wrister. It's a hard, accurate shot when he has the time and space to send it on net. He'll drive the center lane with the puck on nearly every entry, and he isn't shy about setting up shop at the net front, even if it means paying a physical toll in every shift. So if you're a Canucks fan, you have to be pretty optimistic about a center that's willing to get into the mix and use his big frame. And let's get into the draft pick. The New York Islanders, smart on their aspect, because this upcoming draft is extremely loaded to protect it if they do indeed fall into the top 12. That being said, if things go what the Islanders expect it to do, this draft is pretty deep, and Vancouver will be able to get a pretty solid player. And then the kicker is, if it is in the top 12 this year, it's unprotected in the following year. And with the age of the New York Islanders roster, there could be a chance they fall off pretty big. Now let's get into what the Islanders received in Bo Horvat. Bo Horvat in 49 games played, 31 goals, 23 assists for 54 points. He tied his career best in goals with 31 already. He's on pace to score around 50 goals this season. He's been playing phenomenal. He was a leader in the Vancouver Canucks locker room. He's only 27 years old. On paper, this is a good trade because you're trading for a star player for a bunch of futures, because you don't know what those futures will turn into. Because Beauvillier is what Beauvillier is most likely going to be for the rest of his career. You're hoping Raty in that first round draft pick turn into something. I'd rather take the sure thing and get guaranteed production. I think it's a good trade in that aspect because the Islanders don't have great scoring. They're one of the lower scoring teams in the NHL, and you just added somebody to jumpstart your offense. That being said, I was extremely surprised that this wasn't a sign-in trade. The Islanders do not have a contract in agreement with Bo Horvat yet. And this is what you have to worry as an Islanders fan. If the Islanders do not make the playoffs, in what world does it make sense for Bo Horvat to leave the Vancouver Canucks, who were not a competitor, to stay with the New York Islanders that might not be a competitor either? I'm not sure Bo Horvat will sign an extension with the New York Islanders, because I think at this point in his career, he just wants to go to a contender and win. And Islanders fans, this is not to disrespect your team, because I think your decor is the best in the league. You got Pelech, Pulak, Romanov, Aho, Dobson, a lot of really good players. Mayfield's played solid this year. With more offense, the Islanders are probably 1 or 2 in their division. But this is a gamble. The forwards on your team are on the older side. They lack offensive production. And while Bo Horvat might be able to help jumpstart some things, one player is not going to solve all the scoring woes for the Islanders. They're going to need to have more production from their lower guys. And maybe adding Bo Horvat allows the Islanders to have more favorable matchups in games. But still, one player isn't going to save the franchise. My thoughts on this trade. I think right now, the Vancouver Canucks look better off. The Islanders obviously got the best player in the deal. But unless an extension is hit up with Horvat relatively soon, this is just a pure rental. And are the Islanders really in the position to get rentals? Are they a competitor right now? I look at the Islanders, even with Bo Horvat, as a first round exit team if they do sneak into the wild card, just because I don't believe there's enough offensive scoring to help keep them above water. They have the defense, and they definitely have the goalie in Sorokin. I think he's a phenomenal goaltender in the Vezina discussion. But the lack of offensive depth will come back to bite them in the playoffs, because it's not just your star players that have to score, your role players are usually the ones that become the heroes. I'm Captain Paul. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section about this trade. Who do you think won? Were you surprised that it wasn't a sign-in trade with Bo Horvat? Like I said, we're trying to reach 2,000 subscribers for the end of February. I will see you in the next one.